So here we are, June of 2025, day one of the house. And yes, it is mahogany, and yes, it is dark, and yes, it is 70s or 60s, or I'm not really sure when. I think it was a nice kitchen in its day. Windows needed to be replaced. Not only were they just little panes of glass, but they were broken. And I later found out that this washer and dryer was also broken. Decided to switch it up, move the laundry station, move those cupboards. I was kind of going through some ideas at this point about what I wanted to do. The fridge and stove also needed to be replaced. And I had a vision of a big window and a little stove there that didn't have the back piece. And the first thing I did was get to work getting rid of this cupboard here because I wanted to pull down the wall to open up the kitchen to the rest of the house, because as a person who makes a lot of meals for people, I really like being able to chat to people and be kind of in the same room as them while I'm cooking rather than isolated in a tiny kitchen. The next thing to do was to take down these cupboards so that I could put in the giant window that I bought for this spot. It was kind of fun having a blank canvas here. I could really put anything I wanted there, and so I just kind of found a stock window that was really, really big. My brother came over and we made a hole in the wall, basically. Took out the old window. In order to do this, I had to start pulling down part of the ceiling there so you can see above my head. I already took down the tiles that were up there, which were those like cardboard composite tiles. And under that was some strapping that the tiles were attached to, and then from there, plaster on lath. So getting at this hole in the window meant that I had to start taking down pieces of the ceiling too. This is before the exterior is painted. It looks so different now. It's crazy. Goodbye, little broken window. There was insulation in this part of the house because it was a bit of an addition at some point, not part of the original structure of the house. There was also a hole in the wall there where there was a stovepipe going out. This is probably the most painful part of making a hole in the wall. And then there it was, a very large hole in the side of the house. Properly framed in, I will add. Just taking advantage of not having a stove. My fabulous neighbors came over to help us lift the window into the hole. All the steps, the flashing, the caulking, the many hands. All very important parts of the process. And there it is. And it was, of course, an immediate difference. So much light coming into the house. And then I had no choice but to take down the rest of the ceiling. This is probably the dustiest of all the jobs, and you can see the clouds of dust as the plaster hits the floor. So it was removing strapping that had been holding up the tiles, and then plaster, and then lath. It took a couple of days. It was super messy and super hot in the house at this time, but I persevered. Then the next day, something cool happened, which is that I ended up finding some treasures in the ceiling. It's a postcard from 1916. The cleanup from these jobs ends up taking almost longer than the actual job. Look at these ceilings. So this is the upstairs little half room. This is the ceiling now in the kitchen. It looks like this. So those boards are actually coming down. But up here, how do I point? Up here, all of this stuff, which tonight I'm gonna tear out because I'm tearing out these cupboards here. These two cupboards are coming out tonight so that I can tear out this remaining piece of ceiling mess. And I'm gonna replace this with shelves, put the new window in, and that's pretty much the extent of my kitchen makeover. And also removing this floor. But that's a little later. The next step was taking down the boards from this little room that made up the floor of this room and the ceiling of the kitchen, because I had a vision to have a very nice high vaulted ceiling in the kitchen. It didn't make sense to keep this little room here either. It didn't really serve a purpose. I think it would have been used for storage maybe initially, but it was just weird, so it had to go. And don't worry, I didn't throw away these boards. They became the new shelves in the kitchen, so I sanded them down. And they also became the boards on the deck, on the back deck. Obviously, I had to paint these cupboards. I was really vibing on this salmon pink color that I chose for the cupboards. At first I wasn't sure if maybe it was too much. A little before and after. Next phase was replacing this drywall for two reasons. Mostly it's really hard to mud and smooth out drywall when it's full of all kinds of stuff. And the second reason being I really needed to know what was behind it. I was pretty sure there was insulation, but as you can see there was no vapor barrier, and there was also little pockets, like especially where the roof meets the wall there, where there was no insulation, and I could really feel a draft coming in there, so I plugged her all in with insulation. And it is really nice just having a fresh start. In the end, it didn't end up costing very much just to add a little bit of insulation and drywall. A sheet of drywall is like less than 20 bucks. insulation, a whole bat of it goes a really long way. So now I know that the insulation is good in this wall. And I also put on vapor barrier, so obviously that's a huge win. Building technology has just changed over the years, so it's good to keep up with it if you can. At this point, I was really into doing drywall. I mean, for somebody who had no idea what they were doing, actually had never done it before, to this, feels like a pretty big leap. I know I'm not perfect at it, but it isn't rocket science, and it is kind of like a giant puzzle, and it's fun. What can I say? Mudding, taping, sanding, not so much. But there, that does a lot, don't you think? It's kind of like an instant difference. After I finished that side, I went around and replaced drywall in other parts of the kitchen until the whole thing was drywalled. And there she is, ready for paint on one side. Looking really open. The next thing, of course, was to tackle the floor. So I didn't show the video of this, but I did remove the 3 layers of tiles that were on the floor under this. And then I rented a drum sander, and I got going with that. And sanding is time consuming, it is tedious, and it is one of the most rewarding things I've ever done. The change in the floor when you start sanding, just to bring out that wood, is such a mood shift in the room. It just immediately brightens it up, it warms the place up, it just is like an instantly satisfying process. This is the first sander, keeping in mind there are 3 other sanders to be used on this floor and many grits of sandpaper, so I don't want anyone to get the wrong idea. This is just the first phase. I'm here to tell you that the kitchen is sanded. It only took 4 hours. The edge sander was a lot of work. I think of all the jobs, that was probably the most muscle intensive. I had to basically squat the whole time and brace my arms. And I used it on all the cracks and on the edges. And then I found this little beauty on Facebook Marketplace, which was basically a brand new stove. The exact one I was looking for to fit in that spot. And isn't she lovely? Woo. I did go ahead and add clear coat just to this little part of the floor here. I did a few coats here so that we could put the appliances on that place and then clear coat the rest of the floor. So there's the new fridge, and here we are putting in the new washing machine. And when I say new, I mean new to me. Everything I bought was on Facebook Marketplace in good working condition, and definitely newer than what was there before. We did have to have the plumbing moved in order to accommodate the washer dryer. And then I got into some decorating. This is a vinyl backsplash, $50, really easy to install. And it was pretty much the exact size that I needed for this spot. And, you know, I would love to do really nice tile there, but it wasn't in the budget. And so for this time, I'm just going to do this. And honestly, people come into the house and they can't tell that it's vinyl because of the way the shelves hit it just in the right spot. And it's kind of integrated into the design. It's got a bead of caulking along the seam to make sure that it's watertight. People cannot tell that it is vinyl. People think it's tiles, which is pretty cool. I got these shelf brackets off of an online store from China. Sorry, but I love them. I added switch plate covers, just little details, starting to bring the space together. The shelf brackets are like a fan shape, and I got 6 of them per side. And then the boards I used were actually the boards from the floor or the ceiling of the kitchen, the floor upstairs. So they are old boards, part of the house, and I sanded them, refinished them, varnished them, and they ended up being the shelves that you see there. One of the last things to happen, in addition to the window trims, which you can see here, those are on, is the framing of this window, putting that frame back together and on and painted up all nice. Here's Steve trying not to get dust all over the kitchen. And that was pretty much almost the last detail. This is the last time you're gonna see this little guy. See that faucet? Well, tomorrow it's going to look like this. Before. Look at this beautiful faucet. Oh yeah. I love it. Ooh, little barkeeper's friend, and the sink cleans up real nice. And here it is. This is the finished kitchen. I always wanted a swing in my kitchen, which is why that's there. Remember when it looked like this? And I was dreaming about a big window? Well, here it is. It's so bright and it smells fantastic. It's the lamp my sister gave me. High ceiling. Beautifully spacious and airy, no hole in the wall where that little room used to be. It's so wild looking back on what this looked like a year ago and how just different the vibe was walking in. So dark. In need of so much love and so many updates and so much more life. And it's a thrill and kind of unbelievable to me just how different it looks now and how happy it makes me walking into this space. Thank you so much for watching my videos. Eventually I'll do the basement. Eventually I'll improve the decks more. Eventually I'll probably build a whole other building outside. Thanks again for watching, and I don't know what I'm doing next, but I'll be sure to share it with you.